we will be creating a new project. And if we have downloaded the right things, that we will have integration services under templates, and we'll create a new integration services project. When I create a project, a folder creates here, and I have a first project. This is now 5 with a package this. Now here you see all the providers, which means different ways how to connect to different data sources. And in our case, we are going to connect to SQL. So we will use OLAP. Now, previously, it could be used also a native client for the lower version of SQL, but it is not recommended to use this anymore unless you have an older version. And this is documented in that hyperlink that I've mentioned. So we'll be just using OLAP as our source will be a SQL table. Now on the SQL server name, I'll just write my server name and the name of the instance, and we'll be selecting a SQL database. And this is an LS Retail database, an NAV LS Retail database, which will be the source for our first package. Now I'm choosing the destination, and as a destination, I'll be using a SQL server. So once again, Microsoft OLAP provider will be used. Actually, the same name will be used for destination. I could drill down, it would look on all the servers in our environment, so it's quite a long query. And the data warehouse that is already waiting to get data is BF for now external sources 100. Okay. Here I have the option to write a query, but I'll just take a table. So it was list about 2,000 tables. And here, as you see, this is the name of the company and name of the table, a typical NAV convention name. And we are looking for translations for payments. So something about trans payment entry. I will select only one. And here, this is source and destination. And what we will do is we will make a name of the schema will be POS. And because we'll be using only one company, we'll be just deleting the company name and keeping the name of the table more simple. And now this is the mapping part where we select which fields we want to bring on. Okay. So this is where we select the fields. So timestamp, do not use timestamp because timestamp we do not use, and NAV has a timestamp. Please ignore it. Now then there are 4 fields which are the primary key. We should know the data which you are importing, so that we will use a receipt, statement code, exchange rate, and fine. Now from here on we will just ignore some of this. Okay, this is we need, and you just click what you need and what you don't need. Okay, like this. And this is first click, and the second part is nullable, whether a tool will allow null or not. So these primary key fields should always have values, and the others could have also null. So if sometimes card is not there, if this would be unchecked, it would report an error. So we here allow a value to be null. And decimal, we can say, okay, it should be a quantity, but this is it. We'll say drop and recreate, and this is it. And we'll go next, and we are ready there. So what we have done is the first package, which we executed at the end. So there is there a success? Well, it's success, great. And we have this package here. So this package will appear here. Just wait so that this name will appear after generating. And we will also look into the result. So package is here. In my folder, the package name you see is package 1, but we should put it as a name or as what it was. So it is POS payment. Okay. I remind you, please be a little bit patient with these first steps. We are, showing the tools only at this stage of webinar. Later, we'll just see the results and how to integrate it into the BFO dynamics. But this is important part. If you are doing this, 80% of your work will be doing something that with SSIS, the part with data warehouse will fly away. It's very fast. It's very powerful. Now, as the job has already run, we expect some results. So here we'll look into the data warehouse that we created. So we created data warehouse and we are looking, is there any table with a POS schema ready? It's not. Okay, let's run this again. So let's go here and we can execute the package like this. As it says, unable to start debugging, just, try it once again and it should run. So we see an error of dropping a table. It didn't go through. On a data flow, there was something. So let's see if there is something new here. Just refresh here. Refresh. Yes, we have here table. I'll go to the report, to the error back again. So we were able to bring the data here. Now, the error that we have is because we checked please drop table, and here this object is creating a drop table part. So what we will do is not to write error, we'll just write if exist. No, it's like drop table if exist. This is the right SQL 2016 query for drop table if exist. So the next time when we do this, we should run this again. Let's just see this. Just run it again. Obviously, we are doing some mistakes, so it's not a problem. Just do it like this. In such a case, it's a good scenario. We will run the script as a query here and see what we are doing wrong here. So drop table if exists. Yes, S. S is missing. So it's a good example how to do the troubleshooting. Now we have deleted it because it is there. Refresh it here, it's gone. So because we'll be doing in this scenario full update, this is what we do. So we paste it again. Voila. Try it again. Okay, it's good. We see the data flow, it's good. I will not explain the control flow and data flow because these are quite, basics about SSIS. So I would just use this opportunity to invite you everything about SSIS to look for the two guys, Tech Brothers IT. So these guys are really, really masters in SSIS, and they provide you free 217 videos about integration services and how to do this. Now we have created the first part. Let's just refresh. It's there. Load it. It's there. Okay, so what actually the SSIS package did was created the first part, drop table. Then it's a package that creates a table. If not exist, creates a schema, POS, and then creates a table. And this part is a data flow. In our data flow, we have one object which is connecting to the source and reading the source data. And then the second part is the destination with the mapping. So if I double click here, the mapping is the beginning and the end of this part here. So this is what we have, and it is working. So this part is nice. And what do we do with SSIS package like this? We open Biofodynamics. I have two. I think it's this one. Okay. So this is a Biofodynamics data warehouse solution, an instance here, which was as a base instance. We were using only a GL entry, so it's something light here. And we go into the process flows. I'll just click it, edit process flow. This is now all standard. So what we'll do, we'll create an object group, POS, because we are importing post data. One of the post table are payments, and we want this to be applied here at the beginning. Okay, just take it back again. Voila. And we will add this package into our process flow. So I think it's here, post payments, just add it, and we have it here. So now instead of running it from SSIS, it is embedded into Biofodynamics process flow, just as all other objects like loading date, loading anything with dimensions or facts. It's nicely embedded. We should know that first we bring data from external source, and later we'll create either dimensions that will be loading data or doing some transformations with facts. So this is the point here. If I run here as a standalone procedure, it should run, you see, executed. Or if I run this as a part of my process flow in data warehouse, I'll just run this very fast. You see it's running it and actually executed in 5 milliseconds. So it's nicely embedded. Anything that we put from outside this language SSIS is well understood with our process flow, and the execution does just what SSIS package was meant to be. Now we have brought this package into data warehouse. Now the story goes really very fast because we will apply the standard Biofodynamics wizard steps and create the cube. We'll just do something very simple. I have already metadata applied here. Our GL cube is there, something to start to bring the framework, and we'll create a new analysis cube, a post analysis that will have data from here on. So let's just do this. So it is a post analysis, and we will add a fact. Okay. So it will be post payments. And instead of going against the stage, we are going to look data into the post schema. That's why anything with POS, we should put it into these tables should be in a post schema. So I select the table. It's the only table that I'll need. So there is no other tables or table relations. The data are here. So what I will do is I will select amount, quantity, and date. I will not do anything else, just, very fast, just to see the things are there. The date is a date dimension, amount in currency, amount entered. Let's just rename this. And I'll do little time intelligence like this. You may be familiar on last periods. And what I really suggest you to do a custom measure always for each fact is just to do a simple count. So what we'll do is number of payment lines. These are the lines, not actually the payments. And the script is hard to understand because it's just one, and count will be a sum of the lines. Okay, this is it. We are ready to generate the script and to see how this has been successful. Now, when I'm doing this deploy again, you may see that I'm keeping the data, and the data are kept for the data that I selected to be kept. And I can select which data will not be deleted if it's a one-time shot. So it's a post data are there, and the other DIM and fact data will be deleted. So there is improvement in BFO dynamics, the way that you can keep once the table is loaded and it's not loaded again for some historical data. It's very useful, and these data are kept always. If you want to delete it, then you would not select this data to be kept. Now, so you see, this is what we have created, and we have amount in currency, number of payment lines, and we can put a date here into the rows, and yeah, whatever there is going on, it is there. We didn't select any other dimension which there other than this, and yeah, this is our first cube based on the data. And this is quite simple, right? With a little more effort, let me just close this part here and close this project with one table only. I will show you an example which is more dynamic, but still not a big part here. So I have spent maybe an hour more when importing little more tables. So I'm importing post terminals, post payments like this one, post store data, tender payment information, and information about the staff. All of these have four objects with primary key, script being the one that makes the difference from our demo, which is adding a primary key. This is a script that it's done by template. It's even if you're not familiar with SQL, it's easy to do, really very easy. So this is the hardest part from the SQL perspective. And the data tools are quite simple. Sometimes you convert date time to date, similar, nothing really big, and running all as a package creates tables, which should be here. You see these are post tables in another server, 1-on-1, 5 tables, and the data are here. So this is terminal, store information. We selected all the fields, staff information, payment entries, and so on. The same way how we did it just a few minutes ago. And the BFO Dynamics data warehouse part is a little more, clicking, nothing else. So the post schema has 5 tables. We have seen these 5 tables are here. They are recognized also with the wizard here. And we have not selected only date dimension, and we have selected little more dimensions here. Actually, there are 10 dimensions created. The same 3 measures. If we deploy and process, then the result would be something like this, okay? So what we have many more measures, because mostly we have few data warehouse based and many MDX or extended measures, extended by some date time intelligence. Then it's a currency change line where it's a change, or with cash doing it, date, transaction status, terminal, by city, country, city, store is a terminal. This is hierarchy, payment types, staff, and receipt. So, you can get this from another source. In our case, we have used it LS Retail because I know LS Retail as a structure of the data. So I know which table to take and how to connect this into BFO Dynamics. So this is a picture of little more work, little more dimensions, and little more measures. And you can put, once you have that field, any field from the source as an attribute to your dimension attribute, or adding later a hierarchy, which I think we did here, a hierarchy. You see, you can do whatever you want to do. It's the same BFO Dynamics. It's very, very fast. This data warehouse part is very fast.